Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Man, this fucking screen got dark. What the fuck? Hello? Whoa! Sorry if my microphone sounds like garbage, and sorry if you can't watch this because the screen looks like trash. Just my webcam, it sucks. Oh, but hello, I didn't see you there. Oh, hey, how's it going? Let me just... Right now. So... I'm just making sure people know that I'm live. Alright. Everything seems good to go. The stream got... I spent like 20 fucking minutes making sure this shit looks good. And it looks like fucking... It looks so dark right now. I need to boot up Skype again. Because that's the only way I can get to my freaking controls for my camera. Hold on. Options. Video settings. Let's turn up the brightness a little bit. There you go. That should be fine. Now let's fucking quit Skype. Like a little bit better. Let me boot it up a little bit more. See, the problem is when I go to a white page, I get brighter. So I was judging it via me looking at a white page before. But I should not be doing that. There we go. That looks better. Marginally better. All right. So there we go. Ash that. So hey, how's it going? Should probably be looking up at the camera. How's it going? This is a little thing I had planned, and it's just basically me looking at 2017 in review. Since I can't, the next 2 days I'll be out of town, and then the 31st I will be hosting a New Year's party at my house pretty much all day, since my friends are coming over earlier. So I won't really have time to do this any other day but today. So I decided to do it. It's the 28th. It's not really the end, but you know. Anyway, you know, I think I can stay back at 3. I think I can hold back 3 days or whatever, so you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I look up on the webcam. Let me add it to this list. Okay. So, what am I going to talk about today? So first off, I'm going to talk about some gaming stuff. I'm going to talk about my games I played this year that I thought were very good. The games that I fell flat. The games that I still need to play from this year, and other honorable mentions. Stuff that just fell in the middle, kinda. And then after that, hopefully this doesn't look like... No, this looks fine. A little blue hue, but other than that... But after that, I'm going to talk about some stream observations I made about myself. I went back and watched some of my streams, and I took down notes. I should actually add one thing I forgot to add. So yeah, I took some stream observation notes. I just wrote down the last one there. I said I had to take at least 5 for myself, and then I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things. And then I also want to list some future plans that I had. Additionally, if anyone at any time has a question to ask me, ask it in chat personally. The going from dark to light just looks so fucking jarring. Ugh. But anyway. Most of my friends are playing shit right now anyway, so it's just pretty much going to be me here. If someone pops in and asks a question, then wooey. Other than that, God, the brightness to darkness is very jarring. I'm just looking at it on my stream. So let's get right. This should only be about 30 minutes to an hour. Got my alcohol. Got my normal drink. I didn't really need to show that off. I'm gonna pour some for myself right now, though. So anyway, we're gonna start off. We're gonna talk about games that I need to play that didn't play this year. I should be pouring it like that. It's not how you're supposed to pour alcohol, kids. What an idiot. I'm drinking some Gentleman Jack whiskey. My favorite type of drink is whiskey. But I digress. Let's move right into the news. So first off, I already said this. First off, I'm going to talk about games that I need to play that I missed this year. First off, Nier Automata, which is a game that I own, that I played for like 2 hours, and then I never went back to. So I don't know if I'm going to stream that in the future, or if I'm going to play it by myself. I don't know, it's kind of a long game. I don't know. So, yeah. I'm going to kind of go through these a little faster than the other sections. Next is XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, which is a DLC, not a full game. The XCOM 2 released last year, I think, or the year before. War of the Chosen released this year. And I've purchased War of the Chosen in the Steam Winter Sale, so expect that on stream 100% sometime soon. Next is White Day, A Labyrinth Called School, which is a game. It's a remake of an old classic. And an old cult classic, I should say. And I picked it up this year when it came out. I played it a little bit, and yet again never went back to it. I think the reason why is because it was a spooky game and it was like still in August. Maybe if they released it in October, I would have played through it because it's, you know, the spooky month or whatever. Also, I would have had more drive because I'll talk about the fact that I had more drive at the end of the year later. But anyway, next we got Middle-earth: Shadow of War. I'd like to play Middle-earth: Shadow of War despite all the microtransaction bullshit because from a lot of the stuff I've seen, the enemies, the Nemesis system, they buffed them up and they had like a lot of cool different enemies and stuff, and I really want to play it just for that, even though I know there's a lot of grinding, there's a lot of different bullshit, but I want to play it. I like Lord of the Rings so much. It's a big fandom I'm a part of. So yeah, Shadow of War. I played Shadow of Mordor a little bit earlier this year, but then I ended up dropping it because of all the bad backlash that Shadow of War had, but now I kind of regret that because I wish I'd played through it. But I didn't end up buying Shadow of War yet, so I don't know if I ever will. And if I do, I'll definitely play Shadow of Mordor beforehand because you can like import your Nemesis from that. So anyway. Next is a game I did purchase, and you will see very soon on stream. Came out earlier this year, called West of Loathing. I hear that game is so good from a lot of people, so I want to play it. So I picked that up on the Steam sale for very cheap, like $5 or something. And I don't think it was $5. I think it was more like $7. But I'm gonna play it on stream. You can be sure of that 100%. Next, another game that I picked up on the Steam sale, but I might not play on stream, is Cook Serve Delicious 2. I love the first one. Me and my friend played that one a lot, back and forth. And I've played the tutorial for this one, and so far it doesn't seem as fun. They added a lot of stuff, but it feels like the stuff that they added kind of muddles down the gameplay. So far I'm not really feeling it at the moment. I'll play it a bit more off stream, and if I really like it, I'll play some on stream and stuff. But for now, it's just And those are the only 2 games that I think I picked up. West of Loathing and Cook Serve. No, I also picked up XCOM War of the Chosen, and that's also my need to play. So yeah, I picked up those 3 on the winter sale. I picked up 3 other games on the winter sale, which I will talk about one of them, because I already played it and beat it today. The other one is The Room 2, which I plan on streaming that one. And then the other one is a very long game that I will eventually get to after I play XCOM, probably. So, but enough about that. Next is Hand of Fate 2. Hand of Fate 2 I want to play so bad. I didn't purchase it in the winter sale, and I don't plan on for the rest of the winter sale purchasing it, because it still costs a decent amount of money, and I'd already purchased a few games from the winter sale, like, Cook Serve, West of Loathing, War of the Chosen. I purchased 6 games, basically, so. And that was, for me, enough. I'll be able to stream those into the new year, and then I'll be able to snowball that into other stuff I want to play. But Hand of Fate 2, I really do want to get around to sometime, possibly next year, possibly the year after. And hopefully stream it. I love the first game. I hear the second game is just more of the same with better stuff added. And that it's like a love letter to fans of the first game, so I'm excited to eventually play that. And last on my need to play list, and this one is the most need to play, is Hollow Knight, because I feel like such a fucking poser. Because I got the indie box for Hollow Knight earlier this year, and it's like one of the only ones that I've unboxed, and I have like the little worm plushie thing out. And then I also got like a shirt from them as well that has the Hollow Knight on it. And, the titular Hollow Knight. And it's a really comfy shirt, and it's cool, and I've worn it to a few places, and it fits me really well. And I like the shirt, so I'm like, man, I really need to play this game so I don't look like such a poser for having this merch for this game that I've never played before. So I'm going to play that eventually, off-stream or on-stream, I don't know. But I do already own it. So I own everything on the need-to-play list except for Middle-earth Shadow of War and Hand of Fate 2. Which Hand of Fate 2 I definitely want to play eventually. Don't know when. Middle-earth Shadow of War, if I get the feeling to play Shadow of Mordor, then I'm going to end up playing Shadow of War, so. Yeah, that's right. You're cute. You have a boyfriend yet. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Next, I'm going to get into the games that fell flat for me this year. So the first game that kind of fell flat for me this year was Mass Effect Andromeda. I've never played the other games in the Mass Effect series, even though I own all 3 of them. I feel like a shithead. And Mass Effect Andromeda for me just wasn't that good. I picked it up because I heard I like to play games that are kind of bad but also good at the same time. Picked it up because I know Mass Effect's a good series and it has like a good grounding, but also that I saw the Faces stuff, and that was a lot of fun making fun of that stuff while playing through like the first 20 hours that I played. But then after a while it was just grind. It was like, I just don't want to play this anymore, so I stopped playing, and it just didn't feel fun to me. So yeah, that's that. Next is Yooka-Laylee, which unfortunately just fell flat for me. I know one of my friends really liked the game. He really hyped up the game. He said, you need to play this game. I played it. Didn't really like it. I'll get to another game that some other games that fell in the same vein as it later on. But Yooka-Laylee unfortunately fell flat for me a little bit. So, yeah, that's it. Next, Hello Neighbor. For me, Hello Neighbor was this kind of thing that was developing over time. I think it started developing last year, and I was watching it closely, streamers played it, YouTubers played it, and logs off my screen, and it looked really interesting, so I ended up getting it from like a Humble Bundle or something a while ago, and so now I own the full game. It's not good because they fully released it, and it's just glitchy, it's bad. I just, I do not want to play it, so. Yeah, that's that. And then finally, I only have 4 in the games that fell flat for me this year section. Finally, and I know people are gonna be pissed off when I say this, and I'm sorry, but what fell flat for me was Horizon Zero Dawn, and allow me to explain. I didn't really like this game, but a lot of people did. I didn't really like this game. I thought it was good, but at the same time, I started to fall into the same traps that like I'd fallen into by playing so many different Far Cry games and Assassin's Creed games and all that stuff. It felt like, to me, it felt like it was a fresher version of those games, but at the same time, I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed a lot of the scenery. You're fighting the robots was cool. I enjoyed like the giant elevator thing up to that like place, the city. That stuff looked really cool. I didn't enjoy the main character. A lot of people liked the main character. I kind of thought she was annoying. She acted like me, which I didn't like. Like, she acted like a self-centered asshole a lot of the time. And obviously, I mean, she didn't all the time, but like when someone would say something, she'd snap back like with a witty remark, like not really a witty remark, just like an asshole remark. And I'm like, you can't do that. I'm supposed to be the one that does that, you know? You're supposed to just be like the good person. I didn't really like her that much. I know people liked her because they like they felt that she was a lot like them, and also she was a powerful woman character in games. I didn't like her. I felt like she was kind of an asshole. So my quick review of Horizon Zero Dawn. Next, we're going to move on to the middle section and the like honorable mentions. For they were good, but just kind of weren't good enough. So first is Prey, that came out this year. Let me tell you a story about Prey. I remember a while ago seeing the Prey 2 trailer from E3. I was like, oh, that looks amazing. You know, I can't wait to hunt aliens. Unfortunately, it got canceled, and Bethesda said it was because the game didn't look good. And I trust Bethesda there. Sure. Okay. Unfortunate, but if the developers weren't up to task, they weren't up to task. So they ended up handing it over to Arcane Studios, which are the people who did Dishonored. I love the first Dishonored. The second Dishonored was kind of eh for me. Prey is also kind of eh for me. I liked Prey a lot in the beginning. It was really cool concept. I liked how they had the mimics and stuff, being all different objects. Then it got into the later game, and it kind of had that, the whole game kind of had like that Bioshock feeling. And it held on to it throughout the whole game. And one of the things I don't like about Bioshock, one of the few things like the Bioshock games, is that towards the ending they get ball-bustingly hard. And this definitely got ball-bustingly hard. And it kind of ruined the experience for me, because it was just save scumming, and, you know, you can watch my stream, but at the end I was just kind of pissed off and I didn't want to play anymore. And so I was like, yeah, hooray, I'm over. It's over, I'm done, so, you know. It was a good game, but unfortunately it kind of fell flat in some regards. Next is the Crash Insane trilogies on my kind of other novel mentions. I picked this up because I'd heard a lot of good things about it. You know, I'd seen the memes, the wow meme. Crash being who he is. You know, he's a staple of the PlayStation era, and back then I was a PlayStation kid. So I picked up this game. I played through the first game 100% of it. Not the time trials, fuck that. But like all the gems and stuff. And I had a lot of fun. And then the second game was just like a slog for me, and I didn't even get to the third game, so I played through most of the second game, but I didn't have a lot of fun with it. It just felt like they purposely amped up the difficulty to be harder, and I know it was as difficult as it was back in the day, but there's a reason why the difficulties kind of lowered as we've gotten to our times, it's because it's not as much bullshit. Difficulty back then was a lot of bullshit. You know, a lot of times when people review games these days, you hear the phrase, when you made a mistake, you felt like you made the mistake. I feel like back in the Crash days, some of the mistakes, you didn't feel like you felt the mistake. You felt like the game was just designed to be fucking stupid. So, I did stream a little bit of me playing the Crash DLC like level they released, and I didn't have trouble with that because I thought the first game was pretty good. The second game, some of the movement stuff they introduced kind of made me fucking hate it. But I digress. Crash Insane Trilogy was still good. Unfortunately, just yet again fell flat for me because of reasons of, you know, it's an old game that they remade. The meme was the real reason, yeah, pretty much. Next game on my other honorable mention stuff is Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which I felt like wasn't even a game, almost. I felt like it was just a demo for Kingdom Hearts 3 that they had us play. So I was a little disappointed, but it still felt fun to play. And still felt fun to play through. Fun fact about this game, after playing it through, I decided to play it through on Critical and record it. And it was... I had top-tier jokes, top-tier everything. And then the recording audio screwed up. And it caused the whole thing to become corrupted. And I got really depressed after that and didn't stream for like months afterwards. So that was kind of a reason I didn't stream in the middle of the year. One of the major reasons was because I thought that recording was so good. I had so many jokes that I lined up one after the other, and I was just so depressed that it got corrupted, and I was like, I don't want to record this again because I know I can't deliver those jokes as well as I did. And I'm very sad now. So, also bundled in with 2.8 was Dream Drop Distance, which I didn't play, but it's bundled in there, so maybe I'll play. I never played Dream Drop Distance. That's probably one of the only ones in the series I've missed, but maybe I'll play it one day on stream or off stream or whatever. Anyway, next game in the middle section is Night in the Woods. Now, Night in the Woods, I'd heard a lot about, and I'd known it was about the main character was someone that came home from college, and she was saddened by whatever reason, and she decided to move back home with her parents. So that struck a chord with me because a few years ago I did the very same thing. So I went to a semester of college, said, this really isn't for me, came home to live with my parents, and I've lived here since, and I'm going back to school now and stuff, which I'll talk about later. And I'm kind of just doing stuff on my own at the moment. I have been for like the past year and a half. Kind of in recovery mode, so I was like, this game's perfect for me. I played it, and it was pretty good. It had its good moments. But then it tried to do... Do you remember Firewatch from last year? Firewatch I didn't like just because of the sole fact that it tried to build up to this big suspenseful narrative that something was happening, and then it just turned out nothing was really happening. It was just that, oh, a kid died, which is a big thing in itself, but like, there was no big conspiracy, there was no like huge thing. It was just like, oh, yeah, go back and talk to your wife, you loser. And I felt like shit after playing that. I was like, wow, they just kind of fucking jebaited me. This could have been a really cool game, but instead they said, go fuck yourself. So, I didn't really like Firewatch from last year. This year, my Firewatch was kind of Night in the Woods, but it did the exact opposite. What it was doing, it was having like this normal story, and I really, really liked it, up until the point where they started introducing these weird mystical elements, and it wasn't really starting to introduce. In fact, they really didn't introduce very many mystical elements until really late into the game. And when that came along, I was like, oh, you're not fucking doing this, are you? And then it produced the ending, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was enjoying the game the whole way through, and then that shit happened at the end, and I was like, I don't like this anymore. So that's why it's kind of in the middle, because I really liked the beginning of the game, most of the game, build up to the end, and then the ending just kind of made me fucking depressed. Which was sad, because it was a game that I kind of related to up until that part where it did like the mysticism and stuff, and I was relating to it really well, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, we sacrifice people, and I'm like, Really? So next, next is a game I streamed all the way through. Well, before I do that, you rock, since you're here in chat. Know you can ask a question at any time, and I will most likely answer it or ignore you. So, since you're talking in chat, just so you know, it's open questions, open mic, not open mic, just open questions. I'm lying. Anyway, next is a game that I streamed all the way through, called Cuphead. Cuphead is a great game. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people thought it was difficult. I streamed through the whole thing. Fantastic artwork. Reminded me of when I was a kid and watched old Disney cartoons. I didn't really like it that much. It was okay. To me, it was just kind of like an okay game. There were points where I got mad at it for being a little difficult. I remember some fights, like the genie fight, I think I had problems with. Which apparently I watched a bunch of other people and no one else had problems with the genie fight, but everyone else had problems with the bee fight, which I completed like in a few runs. So I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of a meh game. I didn't really think it was that great. The hardest part of that game was me doing the fucking fish level, which I hated. That run and gun level, that made me fucking want to shoot myself. Fish spawns galore. Anyway, moving on from that, because I don't want to talk like about 30 minutes about how I like Cuphead but don't like it at the same time. It was a good game. That's all you really need to know. It's in my medium place of games. It's not I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's like one of my top tier games of the year. So anyway, moving on, another game that I fully streamed, Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares was a fun little romp for about 3 hours that I streamed all in one session. And it was pretty fun, and it was really creepy and all that stuff. Never did it kind of vault itself, though, into like really good game territory. I know a lot of people like this game because a lot of people like Limbo back in the day, or Inside Out, or whatever it's called. Inside, I think, is just the name of it. It came out like last year. Or did that come out this year? Earlier this year? I don't know. But people liked it because they liked those games. I played those games before. I didn't play Inside, I don't think. But I played Limbo before, and I played games like it. And I like them, but I never really thought of them as great like games where, ooh, man, I really want to play more of this genre. So for me, this genre is just something that's always going to be middle of the line. It's never going to be great unless something happens for me. So Little Nightmares, the reason why it's in here is because this genre in and of itself, I've never been like, wow, dude, this game has amazed me. Or, man, I really love playing this. Just kind of like, let me play through it for 3 hours and then, oh, I'm done. I like them, but I don't like them that much. Next, in the honorable mentions / like middle of the line section, is Splatoon 2. Now, Splatoon 2 was a fun game, and it would have been in like my good games, like Game of the Years or whatever. But unfortunately, Splatoon 2 had the same, for me, it had the same staying power as Splatoon 1, which was, it only stayed with me for about like 40 hours of gameplay, 30 hours of gameplay. And it sucked because getting Splatoon 2, I was like, that's not going to happen this time. I'm going to play a bunch of it, and me and all my friends are going to play it, and we're going to love it. But no matter what updates they put out, it's just like, I don't want to play this anymore. I'd rather just play something else. Sorry. So yeah. I tried to do a review of Splatoon 2, and I actually have some footage of it still on my computer, but I'll talk later why I didn't do that review and why I didn't do some other reviews that I wanted to do, and why I probably won't be doing very many reviews in the future, but I'll talk later about that after we're done with the game stuff. Next, in my middle of the line, I still have like 5 more in the middle of the line. Next in my middle of the line, I have Getting Over It. Getting Over It is a fun game that got really popular all of a sudden when a bunch of streamers started playing it. I played it before it was even on Steam. Humble had like a offer in their bundle, and they gave you the game, and I'd watched the NLSS play it, which are a few streamers, and they were like, you can get this on Humble, or you can wait till it comes out on Steam. So I got it on Humble and played it. It was a lot of fun, and then a few weeks later, all of a sudden, a bunch of streamers started picking up, and it became like the hot game to rage over about. So I don't know. It was a fun game, but, and you could tell Bennett Foddy, the guy who made QWOP, who made this game as well. This game was kind of like a love letter to like niche games that have weird controls and stuff, and you could tell he really spent a lot of time and love in making this game. So yeah, you got to give the game credit where it's due. It's a good game. It's just I put it down here because it wasn't a game that vaulted itself up into amazingness, I guess. Getting Over It was still a good game, and it was middle of the line for me though. So next we have PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Oh boy, I haven't played this game in a while. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I haven't played this game in a while, just because mostly I like playing it with my friends, and my friends haven't really had the drive to play this. My friend the other day did play it a little bit, and he's been getting back into it, so maybe I'll play it some more soon. But PUBG just kind of has some weird things about it that I don't really like, and I didn't put it in my need to play, but I kind of want to play Fortnite with my friends, because I've heard a lot of stuff about how Fortnite's basically just like the fun and shorter time limit and stuff version of PUBG, and it's a lot more fun. Did I mention fun? So I might check that out. PUBG, for me, though, was still a decent game. It wasn't bad, even if it wasn't finished and it shoved in loot boxes, which is a fucking scummy-ass thing to do. But you see, the reason why was because we could promote our tournament and give money to the... Shut the fuck up. You did something you said you wouldn't do, and you lied about it. Just fucking own up to it, dog. Next is a game that I don't even know if it's out yet, but I decided to put it on here nonetheless because I spent a lot of time with it when it first kind of came out, and that's Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a roguelike that I like a lot, but I don't know if I'll ever see the game completed because I haven't played it in a long time, and they've been doing a lot of updates, so I'm probably way far behind right now. And I still don't even know if the game's out, so it's been in early access this year, and it was a really good surprise to come out of early access this year, and it was just a really great game, and I liked it a lot. And that's really all I have to say about it. But if it does come out, or if like there's a big resurgence or something, then I'll probably play it again. Whether or not that's on or off stream, I don't know. But it was a middle of the line game for me this year. Next is Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. As a big Berserk fan, I'm playing through Berseria right now, as you know, and I'm a big Berserk fan, so I'm making fun of that. This game came out this year, and it's basically Dynasty Warriors Berserk Edition. So, you know, like how they're doing Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors and stuff. It's basically Berserk Warriors. So, but it had a lot of cool characters in there that you could unlock and stuff, and I feel like I missed out on some of the stuff because there was like a dungeon kind of thing that I didn't really play, and I didn't even play through the whole game for that matter, because I already knew the story, and I was kind of like, the gameplay wasn't really that fun. I've played a lot of Dynasty Warrior games in the past, and I think I've played what I need to in terms of Dynasty Warriors, where if I'd never had to play a Dynasty Warrior game again, But then again, Dynasty Warriors 9 is coming out next year, and I'll probably pick that up, so. Idiot. Anyway. Yeah, it was a good game. If you've never read Berserk, I recommend it, even if you have to play through the game version. Next, we have the game I was talking about in the need to play section. Sometimes you drink, and then you're like, "Oh, that was too much." But as I was talking about the need to play section, one of the games that I bought from this winter sale I'd already played and beaten, and actually, believe it or not, it was actually like 30 minutes before the stream I beat this game. So it's a game called Kingsway, and I'd seen a lot about it. It's a roguelike by Adult Swim, where you are playing on like a computer system. What is it called? You know, like Windows or Mac or something. OS, operating system. It's like an operating system is the game. It's pretty interesting. I played my first run today, and I also beat the game today. You might want to guess how many runs I played. I played one. I only played one and I beat the game. It's a roguelite or like or whatever, but I beat the game in like the first ending and you end up dying, so I'll probably end up going back to it off stream some more. I doubt I'll play it on stream at this point since I've already started playing it off stream. Who knows? But Kingsway, talking about how good and bad it is, there's a lot of good elements, but I feel like I already abused it because I'd watched a streamer play it and they played Beastkin and they like ate a lot of stuff. And I was like, man, that ability seems really cool. So when I started out the game, I had Beastkin unlocked already because I guess they started you out with it unlocked. And I played that, and the eating power is OP because you literally just eat anything. So I was at the final boss, and I was just like eating my keys that I had got earlier from the game that I never used, and like eating a bunch of random armor and weapons that I don't really need because I have better weapons, and I just destroyed the ending boss with like almost full health. So I feel like I abused the game, but I probably will go back to it. My opinion might change, but I think it's going to stay middle of the line for Kingsway. It was a good game. Cannot deny it's good roguelike. I recommend it if you like roguelikes, so that's that. And you probably won't beat it your first time. I feel like I just got lucky because I knew about the Beastkin thing. And I just abused it, so. So anyway. Now we move on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 games in my Game of the Year list. Game of the Years. Games of the Year list. So these are my games of the year. They're going to be in no particular order like everything else has been, except for number 1, which I'm going to put... I haven't really decided which one is number 1. It has to be that one though, so yeah, I'll put it at the top and I'll work from the top. I'll work from the bottom up. So just put that there. Alright. So let's start talking my game of the years. First one's gonna piss people off. Assassin's Creed Origins. So I talked about Assassin's Creed earlier and how I'm kind of tired of it. Assassin's Creed took a break for a few years, and now they're back with Assassin's Creed Origins. And man, is it glitchy? Yes. Is it glitchy as all high hell? Yeah. Does it still have stupid trailing missions that piss me off? Yeah. But is it still... I love Assassin's Creed games. I don't know what it is about it. Is it still fun as hell to play through? Yes. Even with the bullshit weapons and the leveling up system that they have now, which I actually kind of like the leveling up system. But the like bullshit weapon drops that they basically just put in so you try to buy items, and like the upgrades they put in just so you try to buy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it was bullshit. Did I still love the game? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Was the story kind of stupid? Yeah, it was really stupid. Did it piss you off? Yeah, it did. Was the gameplay still a lot of fun? Yeah. I don't think I've ever not had fun playing an Assassin's Creed game. And I see people that go around, like, for instance, like Donkey. He's a big one, and he makes videos about how it's so boring and how he does follower missions, and I feel bad for people who don't have fun with these games, because for me it's a romp. It's a lot of fun. Every time I play through Assassin's Creed games, I have fun with the glitches and all the nonsense. So yeah. I'm shamefully admit that I love the game. Sorry. Next is Miitopia, and Miitopia for me barely eked out above a middling game and into a great game. Because you had all these interactions with the cool Miis and stuff, but after a while it kind of got repetitive, but it also had some cool stuff in there as well, like new enemies and different stuff you could do, and like random NPCs that were different Miis and stuff. Overall, Miitopia was a good game. I feel like it did have some repetitiveness, but I still thought it was pretty good. That's really all I have to say on the matter. Next is a game that I actually played during my December 25 games Bonanza thing, and I didn't realize it had come out this year. As it turned out, I got it in like a humble monthly bundle. I didn't realize, but I'd heard a lot of good stuff about it before playing it, and then I ended up rolling it on the 25 games list, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll play this. And I'm happy to say that the Sexy Brutale was one of my favorite games of this year. Holy shit, did I love that game. I didn't really realize it. I streamed the whole thing so you can watch me stream it, but I didn't really realize it as it was... Like, even as I was playing, I liked it a lot. But after I stopped playing, and I was just sitting there, like, thinking about it, I was like, man, I really like this game. Like, I don't know what the fuck it is about it. After it already uninstalled, I was like, I really like this game. What the fuck? And I thought it was really great, and you might see some more Sexy Brutal. You might see me play it again and try to 100% it, or you might see me try to do speedruns, because I've been watching speedruns of it. So I might try to speedrun. Hey, there might be my next speedrun game after Tulip, so who knows? But I really enjoyed it, and I thought the story was great. And a lot of the people that I like who have like reviews of it and stuff, I looked up after I played the game, and they were all like, yeah, this game's great. So I was like, yep, I can agree. Sexy Brutal is definitely one of my top games of this year. Like, definitely in the top 5 or like top 3 or something. But like I said, no particular order. So next is Persona 5. Now, Persona 5 is a game that I bought day one and played for like 2 hours, and then stopped playing for like 3 months. And then people were like, man, Persona 5 is a lot of fun. And I was like, man, I really should have played that. And I saw a lot of memes from Persona 5 come up on my Twitter feed, and I was like, fuck, I gotta play this. So I finally sat down, and I finally started playing it. Damn, is that a good game. I'd never played Persona game before that. The closest I played is the Fire Emblem Persona crossover on the Wii U, which was a lot of fun for me, honestly. But this game was really good. I cannot lie. I was worried because a lot of people said grinding. There was a lot of grinding. And so I played it through on the easiest difficulty, which might make me sound like a pussy, but I just didn't want to do any grinding. And of course I blew through every fight, but I really wanted to play through it for the character interactions, which is what I'd heard Persona games were all about. And yeah, the character interactions were amazing. And the story was pretty good as well. And I liked it. Wouldn't you know, I liked it. Hey, y'all. It was a great game. If I play through it again, I might try to play through on harder difficulties, but I probably won't ever play through it again. I liked what I played. I didn't get like all the characters or anything, like max level or anything. I only got like 4 of them, I think, or 5. But I still liked what I played. Next, another anime game, Danganronpa V3. So earlier this year, I played. This very year, I played Danganronpa 1 and 2, and I had a lot of fun with those games. A lot of fun. And the reason why I played them is because I saw V3 was coming out later this year, and I was like, I'd heard the series was good, and then one of my friends had mentioned it, and another one of my friends had mentioned it from like 2 different friend groups, and I was like, fuck, I gotta play it now. So I played through both of the first ones, and I was like, man, these are really good. And there were still like 3 months till the third one came out, and I was like, shit, I probably should have waited till the third one was closer to coming out. So I played V3, and just like the other 2, I thought it was a lot of fun. Had its faults, had its difficulties, but I can proudly say Danganronpa V3 was a very fun game for me. And I still need to play the Zero Time series as well, which is a similar game series to Danganronpa. It's they have their differences. Zero Time is like people are trapped and you have to save everyone, and Danganronpa is like high schoolers are trapped and they have to kill each other, so it's a little different. But anyway, move on. Next is a game that I don't think is going to be on a lot of people's lists this year, but it certainly didn't really make a big impact, but every time I see it, I just have like a big smile on my face every time I see some other people playing it, because me and my friends had a lot of fun playing this, and it's a game on the Switch called, not the last game you're going to see on this list, a game on the Switch called Snipper Clips. So, it's not the last Switch game you're going to see on this list, is what I meant to say, but it's a game called Snipper Clips, and the words to describe this fail me, but it's basically a co-op game where you play with your friends and you dick around and have a lot of fun and solve puzzles. I bought this on the Switch before going over to a friend's house one day. I went over to the friend's house, we downloaded it, and we played it, and it was really fun. Actually, it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, because it's a Switch release title. You don't think they're going to be that fun. But Snipper Clips is actually really fun, and I think a lot of people actually noticed that, and it actually got like a retail release and all that kind of stuff, and I've seen a lot of people play it. That being said, like I said, I don't think it's going to be on a lot of people's end of the year list. I think it's just a game that people are going to play, and then they're going to be like, yeah, whatever. But Snipper Clips, I honestly think, was one of the best games I played this year. Obviously, that's why it's up here. Next, moving on, is a game that I almost forgot came out this year. It's a game called Neo. In a world where Souls-like games come out and they're dime a dozens and they all suck ass, Neo managed to come out and it was actually pretty good. It was actually comparable to a Souls, a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne or a Demon Souls or whatever. It was actually a good game, and I liked it a lot. And there was a few things that I didn't like about it, though, and I'm going to mention them here. And this was also a game like Miitopia that kind of barely made it above middle ground, but still I thought it was good enough to be in like my top games of the year. So the problems I have with this game are, once you've figured out how to play the game like really well, it's a cakewalk. And like, for instance, they don't really have a lot of varied enemies, so once you've seen all the enemies and you've figured out how to fight all the enemies, you'll probably never be surprised unless they throw a bunch of enemies at you, and even then it's like, okay, let me figure out how to do this. I almost 100%ed Neo. The only thing I didn't do was one of the fights at the end, because at the end, in order to make it hard, they make you fight two different fights that both have two bosses in them. So one of them has like these two sword fighters that you have to fight, and I beat that one, and it was pretty difficult. And then the other one had you fighting Nobunaga and his dead wife, which is a yokai or whatever now, a spirit. She's a vengeful spirit or whatever, and you have to fight them both at the same time. And I knew how to beat them, but I just ended up not wanting to go back and play through it, because I was just like, it's just kind of, it was a war of attrition, and I lost the war of attrition. So it was just throw my face at them a bunch of times until I eventually win, and I decided to give up. But really, that game, like I said at the beginning, it felt harder than Dark Souls. It felt more foreign because I feel like the way they kind of threw you into the game, that you were just like fighting a bunch of guys, and then like a bunch of ghosts, like weird ghost things showed up, and they're fighting you now, and like it's like, whoa, it's a lot. At the beginning, it feels a lot more foreign than Souls, and I think that went to the game's benefit. But then as you play through the game and you get better at it, it feels a lot easier than Souls games. Souls games, towards the end, they can still throw shit at you, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And then you die, and then it's like, oh, fuck. This game, it felt like they threw shit at you, but it was like, oh, it's a Kraken boss. Let me fight it. Oh, there you go. Towards the end, even like the difficult things you could do, like you could summon spirits of dead players that were like levels ahead of you, and I would still beat them. You could fight this like big normal enemy, and I could still beat them. As long as you were smart about things, the game didn't really feel that hard. Dark Souls, as long as you're smart about things, the game isn't really that hard either. It does the same thing, but at the same time, Dark Souls still has that element of where they throw bullshit at you, and it makes you fucking pissed off. Neo didn't do that, and so some people would say, hey, that's a good thing about Neo, it didn't throw the bullshit at you at the end. But to me, it just kind of felt like, okay, I'm slogging through the end bit here, I know how to do everything, I know how to play through all this part, blah, 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 blah. I still love the game, and I might go back to play it eventually. But to me, it just... And the fact that towards the end they had to do the stupid thing that Dark Souls 2 did as well, where they just throw two of the same two bosses in, a fight, and they're like, they'd fought before, and they're like, oh yeah, isn't this hard? Ha ha ha. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No. No. Anyway. Moving on. And we're winding down. There's only 4 left. Yet again, but in no particular order. There's only 4 left. Except for the last one, which is going to be my number 1 game of the year. But don't even worry about it. Next one is Yakuza 0. So, allow me to tell my story of how I know the Yakuza series, to put it lightly. The Yakuza series, did it have like a first-person shooter somewhere in there? Let me look it up real quick. Because I feel like I had misconceptions of the series a long time ago. Binary domain? No. Okay, so I guess not, but maybe it had like a multiplayer section where it was all first person or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I had a misconception of Yakuza a while ago, that it was all like first person shooters, and it was kind of like Darksiders almost. I felt like, and I was kind of like, I'm not really interested in that type of game, especially because Yakuza apparently has a long story and it has like so many games. And I'm not really interested. My friend ended up buying me one of the spin-offs called Yakuza Dead Souls, and he handed the game to me and he said, "This is apparently one of the worst games of all time. Have fun." And I said, "All right." And it was a third-person, like, weird twin stick the way you fired. And I was like, man, this is fucking weird. But I ended up playing through the game, and I ended up, after getting used to the controls, I ended up really liking it, like liking it a lot. And I was like, oh, too bad it's only a spin-off. And I ended up liking it because it had like all this random nonsense you could do. Like you go to like the clubs and stuff and like hang out with a bunch of weird women and like do all this stuff in between, you know, going around and killing zombies in this third person weird twin stick thing. And then there was like weird side stories you could do. Like you try to save people. And it felt really weird, but at the same time it was like, this is really cool. I like this. Is there anything else in this genre? And sure enough, there is. It's called the rest of the Yakuza games. Except they don't have shooting, instead they have fighting. But I didn't know that at the time. I thought Yakuza Dead Souls was just like a spin-off that did it differently. So I was like, man, it sucks that it's just a spin-off. So I spend more time, and I see some footage of Yakuza. I think the new one that came out, the Kiwami, which is a remake of the first one, actually. And I was like, that appears interesting. And then Yakuza 0 came out, and I looked at some footage of that, and I was like, wait a second. It's a lot like Yakuza Dead Souls, the way they did this. So I was like, man, I gotta play through this. So I picked it up, I played it, and sure enough, turns out the whole series is like that, and I've been missing out this whole time. So, I'll probably get back to playing other Yakuza games. I didn't play Yakuza Kiwami yet, and I heard Yakuza Kiwami 2 came out, which is a remake of the second game. So I'll probably pick those up sometime. I'll probably play them. And, thank fucking God. I didn't know. I didn't know the games were so good. I didn't know the games were like this. I played Yakuza 0 and I was like, wait. And I searched it up and I was like, they're all like this. Holy shit. What have I missed this whole time? I thought Yakuza Dead Souls was a spin-off. Turns out the whole series is like this. Holy shit. I mean, Yakuza Dead Souls is still a spin-off, but you have no idea how excited I was when I was playing through Yakuza 0 and doing the fighting stuff. The fighting was a lot of fun as well. Even like bullshit where like a guy would be sniping you down at the end of the hallway and you had to like figure out how to not fucking die, which was kind of annoying, but still the fighting was a lot of fun in that game. And it turns out all the main games play like that and not like Dead Souls, which was kind of like I love Dead Souls. I'm still gonna love Dead Souls till the day I die, even though it's an ass game. Everyone says it's an ass game, but it's just a lot of fun. So I need to play through more of the Yakuza series, and you might see that on stream. In fact, if I do play more Yakuza, I'll probably play it on stream. So, especially now that I played 0, and I've gotten, like, this is the beginning of the story, how those first two main guys kind of started out. So, I might be playing more. You might see me play some more on stream sometime. Wink, wink, wink. Next, remember when I referenced something else when I talked about ukulele? Oh, what I'm talking about is A Hat in Time. Hat in Time, I streamed through the whole game, and A Hat in Time was fun as fuck. That's really all I have to say. Is it glitchy? Yeah. Is it a little wonky? Yeah. Did every time I play it, Was it just like unabashed fun? Yes. And that's why it's on the list. Is because it was just a lot of fucking fun. It was glitchy. It was a little wonky, the controls. It was a little weird, like when that penguin kept seeing me even though I was a few steps back, and it pissed me off a little bit. But it was, every time I played it, it was like, oh boy, it's time for more Hat in Time. It was just a lot of fun. And that's all I can really say. So next, we're winding down to the last two. And remember I said there'd be more Switch games up here on this list? Well, here you go. Because the next one's Zelda Breath of the Wild. So Breath of the Wild came out earlier this year with the Switch launch. You've heard it a million times. You've heard why the game's good. If you played it, you know why it's good. Or you know why you hate it. Because a lot of people hate it because of the fucking combat. Because the weapons break. And I could talk, for 30 minutes about how I think they could fix that with the next game. And how they can make it so everyone likes it. It was a good game. It was one of my favorite games this year. Unfortunately, it didn't do a lot of stuff that... There was stuff that I didn't like as a Zelda player. As someone who's a fan of Zelda. There's some stuff I didn't like. The dungeons. The dungeons kind of weren't that cool. The only one that I kind of, remember fondly. I remember all of them, but the one that I liked the most was the elephant one, where you had, the different water levels and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. All the other stuff was kind of eh. And there was a few other things with the game. I think the open world definitely played into its benefits, and I think a lot of people liked that. The combat, I think, could be fixed. But, and they didn't really have a lot of cool things, like the hook shot wasn't there, it was missing. Where'd the hook shot go? It's a staple in the series, pretty much. And a lot of the other stuff that was staple stuff from Zelda games wasn't in there. Like heart pieces weren't there. Instead, you collected the different things, and if you got 4 of them, you get a whole heart or some more stamina. It didn't really feel like a Zelda game a lot of the time, but it still felt like a great game. I feel like if they bring back this type, the open world weapons breaking type of stuff, they should bring it back, have a subclass of weapons that can't break for whatever reason, or have all weapons breakable but fixable at the same time. That'd be a solution. Those are 2 different solutions I just said there. Nintendo hire me. And if they do it again, their focus needs to be on the dungeons, and they can't just all 4 of them be the same looking kind of thing, the same kind of, oh, you do this. The dungeons were a huge failing in Breath of the Wild, and it was probably the biggest part of Breath of the Wild that disappointed me was the dungeons. They were bad. Simply put, they were bad. The final dungeon, if you can even call it that, the Hyrule Castle, wasn't even really a dungeon. It was just you walking through the castle, fighting stuff, and then getting up to Ganon. I haven't done the new DLC dungeon. I know it's probably just going to be another Divine Beasts. I haven't really gotten around to it. I've only done, I've done the first part where you have to fight in the plateau, and then I've done, Urbosa stuff, but I haven't done any of the other champion stuff yet, so I'm still working through the DLC. Next game, though, they need to focus on dungeons. And if they keep the open world, it's fine, because I think the open world was really good. I'm wondering what they're going to do instead of shrines, though. If they're going to keep the shrines. And I'm hoping they bring back kind of the old Zelda feel of the heart pieces. And the old, really long side quests. There weren't really a lot of really long, cool side quests in this game. There were some. There weren't really a lot. Like that one village, I forget what the name of it is. Where, after you fully built your house, then they went over and started building a village. That was a cool side quest. And there were some other cool side quests, but really it was just kind of the main quest and you exploring. Did whatever come out on consoles? A Hat in Time? Yeah, it came out on consoles. A Hat in Time did indeed come out on consoles. And it's a lot of fun. You should play it. But yeah, Breath of the Wild. If they do the next game, open world, focus on the fucking dungeons. You've got the world down pat. I'm not saying use the same word from last time. I'm saying build the same world. Not build the same world. Build a new world. But you need to focus on the dungeons. You need to focus on the side stories, and you need to focus on the main story as well, which I didn't mention yet. The main story was kind of trash. Because you should have had... I know the DLC does a little bit for the champions, but it doesn't kind of really... It does stuff that should have just been in the main game to begin with, and then DLC should have added stuff onto what we already have. What we got with the DLC should have already been part of the main game, and then they should... DLC should just add on from where we're already at with the DLC, is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, the DLC that we just got should have been in the base game to begin with. Like, we should have already known this about the champions. The DLC that we should have gotten should have just added more to what we got with this DLC. It should have added more to the champions so we could see more about them. The story wasn't the strong suit in this game. It was the exploration and stuff like that, which a lot of fans of Zelda didn't like. Because Zelda's... You know, you look back at some of the people's favorites, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. A lot of the emphasis on the games was in the story. And the dungeons. Majora's Mask, definitely the story and the side quests. So, I want something that makes me as happy as Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is still my favorite Zelda game, even after this one. It's just a fact. Majora's Mask is just good. The story was so good in that. The side story was so good in that. The dungeons were fairly decent in that. If they can make Majora's Mask type story and Majora's Mask type side quest and bring an open world setting and like have all these, you know, have all these mini dungeons and still have like cool dungeons, I think that game will be lauded as one of the best games of all time. I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild is already being lauded as that, even though I think it's not really deserving. I put it at like an 8.5 maybe. Like I said, few things. Zelda isn't really a good Zelda game. It doesn't have the dungeons, you know, but it's still a great game. And the reason why I talked ad infinitum about it was because I like the series and I like the game. The game was good. The story was a story. It was a story, all right. It could have been a lot better, but they decided to focus on the open world element, obviously. I like the story. Well, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to devalue your enjoyment of the story. But I do think the story could have had some work on it. It was just like, oh, Ganon, oh, he's there. Oh, go save these people. Oh, now Ganon's still there. Oh, you can fight him from the beginning, too. I mean, obviously the focus wasn't really on the story when you could just go and fight him from the beginning. And I think they're still going to do that in the next game anyway. But I hope they kind of focus on the story some more. Anyway, enough talking about Zelda. This is Zelda Breath of the Wild, one of my Game of the Years. Or whatever. But one of my Game of the Years, not one my Game of the Years. It won the Game of the Year awards from a lot of places. Which I think it deserved, kinda. Because there wasn't really a lot of... Well, I just listed off 10 other games that I thought were great. Well, I'm about to list mine now. Whatever. Anyway. Good game. Finally, my number one for this year. Everything else was in no real order. This was my favorite, probably, of this year. And my favorite is Mario Odyssey. Because how could it not be, fucking loser? Hey man, how's it going? I know, I love Mario games. Growing up with Nintendo. Yeah, I grown up with Nintendo and PlayStation, so, you know, kind of a fucking traitor, but whatever. Love Mario. That's really all I can say. I started streaming Mario Odyssey the day of I got it, and then my computer crashed, and I was like, huh. And my computer was really slow, and I was like, huh. And it turns out one of my parts broke on my computer. So I ended up not having a computer for the week that Mario Odyssey came out. So yeah, I 100%ed that game. And it was a lot of fun. Remember when I said hat in the time every time I went back to play it? I was like, oh boy, more hat in time. Literally, Mario Odyssey, I had no computer. And so I woke up every day saying, time to play Mario Odyssey for 10 hours again and enjoy myself. And that's what I fucking did each day. Holy shit, it's a great game. But, I mean, it has its faults. All games have their faults. But if I had to give my #1 Game of the Year award to something this year, it would definitely be Mario Odyssey. Maybe because I had Stockholm Syndrome from being trapped for a week with it, but it felt like kind of a return to form. Some people were pissed off that because I thought it was going to be fully open world, like you could go between the worlds at any time without having to go through a loading screen. What? But no, even though they specified that it was going to be like Sunshine in 64, where you jump into paintings and stuff. And I mean, you jumped into paintings in this game, but yeah. Mario Odyssey, a lot of fun. I'm excited to see where they go next with the Mario series. Because after this weird moon bonanza, I don't know where the fuck they're going to go. Breath of the Wild, it's funny because Zelda and Mario came out this year, and they both kind of diverged from their formula a little bit. Zelda, in a way that was completely like remaking Zelda, because Zelda had gotten a little stale with Skyward Sword and stuff. Understandably, been doing the same thing for years. But Mario, instead of, curving around and like kind of doing a different thing, it did a different thing, but it did it as like a love letter to past Mario games, almost. And I don't know where they can go after this. Zelda, it's like, well, I see where they can go after this. They can, work on the dungeons more, work on the story more, blah, 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 blah. Mario, it's like, do they just keep doing the same thing that they did here? Like, I don't understand. Where do they go with this? They just keep making worlds and then filling them with a bunch of collectibles and being like, there you go. Like, I would like that up to a point, but then it's going to get boring after a while, especially if they release the next game and it's exactly the same thing as Mario Odyssey, pretty much. It's going to kind of get boring. We'll see where they go with it. But I wanted to comment, this year it didn't really feel like there were any, like, really big highs or really low lows for me. Like, last year was No Man's Sky, was the low. Like, everyone hated that game. And similarly, when did this come out? No, that came out in 2015. What came out in 2016? I'm just trying to look at examples. Overwatch. I don't like Overwatch anymore. I hate Overwatch. No, I'm just kidding. And similarly, Last Guardian also came out in 2016, which was kind of a disappointment. A pretty big disappointment after all those years. Uncharted 4 came out in 2016, which I liked a lot. But the point of this was saying, like, there wasn't really a huge failings as there was as last year. Like, the game I liked the least probably this year was probably Hello Neighbor. It felt like an insult. But other than that, like, major games, Mass Effect Andromeda, Yooka-Laylee, Horizon Zero Dawn, they weren't really like huge disappointments, but they were still disappointments. No Man's Sky was a huge disappointment. The Last Guardian felt like a huge disappointment. And similarly, while I loved Mario Odyssey, and while I loved, some of the other games here, like Zelda, the Sexy Brutale, while I loved them, there wasn't really like a huge, fantastic standout game for me. A lot of people, Breath of the Wild or Odyssey, were their standout games this year, To me, there wasn't really a standout game this year. And what I was thinking back to was The Witcher 3, which actually released in 2015. But I was thinking it was 2016 because of the fact that it released DLCs that were basically another game. And The Witcher 3 is honestly one of my favorite, like, might be my favorite of all time game. And it came out in 2015. It was just like, it was such a great game, and there wasn't really, I mean, obviously I'm not going to expect something like that every year, like something The Witcher 3 level. But at the same time, there wasn't really like a huge, massive game for me that was like, it was like, this is obviously #1 right here, The Witcher 3. There was no, like, obviously #1 for me this year. Mario Odyssey ended up being #1, but it wasn't obvious. I had to think about it. 2016, what was my number one? I had to look up 2016 video games real quick. Final Fantasy 15 I thought was okay, even though a lot of people hated it. Dishonored 2, eh. Dark Souls 3 was probably Dark Souls 3 was 2016. For me, it was like that big game. Like, the end of the year, when I looked at the past of the game and I saw the games listed there, I was like, oh, look, there's Dark Souls 3. Yep, definitely game of the year. Like, there's no question that's my favorite game. For me this year, when I looked at the list and I added Mario Odyssey, I was like, I don't know if that was my favorite game. I had to look at what other games I have on my list. And then I looked and I was like, yeah, I guess it's my favorite game. There was nothing that really stood out. Like Dark Souls 3 last year, or The Witcher 3 in 2015. I mean, if you just put a 3 at the end of your game. I don't know. Maybe 2014 had a great game that I liked. Let's see. Dark Souls 2. It was Shadow of Mordor was 2014's for me. It was a game where I just looked at it. Bam, and there it was. Well, actually, Inquisition was close. Even though a lot of people hated that one as well. I liked Inquisition a lot. But Shadow of Mordor was definitely my number one in 2014, which is kind of disappointing that. Thinking about this year. 2013. I never really liked Grand Theft Auto 5. It's kind of a meh for me. BioShock Infinite. Could be yes or no. But the big one for me probably that year was probably Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was probably my favorite that year. If I had to choose. Papers, Please was also pretty good. Super Mario 3D World was also pretty good. There were some good ones that year. But definitely... But it, yet again, Black Flag would be something that I'd look at the list and be like, I don't know if this is my favorite, so... Like I said, not every year is going to be like that. 2012... Looking back on the list of 2012... Oh, 2012 would have definitely been Assassin's Creed 3, because I loved that game that year. Assassin's Creed 3... I know this might sound like blasphemy, but I like Assassin's Creed 3 better than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So that was definitely, for me, 2012. Even though Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning came out that year, and I still love that game to this day. And, you know, Amalur might beat out... Amalur might beat out... Assassin's Creed 3 might have been, like, back then. I would have chosen that. But Amalur now, it's like, it has the staying power that I just kind of love Amalur so much for. 2011 was Skyrim. I mean, I don't know who would not say Skyrim. People who'd say probably LA Noire. Uncharted 3, maybe. Original Dark Souls was 2011? No, it wasn't. Oh, it was. Never mind. What? There's no way original Dark Souls 2. Am I losing my mind? Well, it was 6 years ago. Yeah, never mind. I was like, 2011 was so close, dude. And then I realized, wait a second. I'm looking at the other games. Deus Ex Human Revolution. Wait a second. Skyrim. Wait a second. LA Noire. I think LA Noire is really old every time I think about it. And I'm like, wait a second. This is a long while ago. Skyward Sword. Dragon Age 2. Bastion. Like, yeah, okay. I'm losing my mind. That was so recent. The doi. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, 2011 had a lot of good games. I think about it. Anyway, you get my point, what I'm trying to say. There was no standout game from this year that I saw, and I was instantly like, yeah, there it is. It's Mario Odyssey. No, I had to actually decide. Where in years past, Dark Souls 3 the year before, The Witcher 3 the year before that. The year before that, I don't even fucking remember what I said, but you get the point I'm trying to get across. There wasn't really anything really high, and there wasn't anything really low this year for me. It was all kind of in a good medium. Even the games that fell flat for me, like Horizon, I don't think it's a bad game. It just didn't mess with me. Mass Effect Andromeda, I think that was a bad game. Mass Effect Andromeda is kind of a bad game, gameplay-wise. Like, what it had going for it was like story, and even then the story was kind of ass because it was written by a bunch of people who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And then I don't need to talk about Andromeda. Everyone hates Andromeda anyway. And then Ukulele, I think that was kind of a bad game. even though I know someone watching this would disagree, but and Hello Neighbor, which is fucking awful, but yeah, I don't think it was as bad as like No Man's Sky last year. But anyways, we've talked. How long have we talked? Hour and 15 minutes. That was a lot longer than I thought I was going to be talking about games for. This next part should go faster, though. So, let's talk about some stream observations. Alright. I disagree. Yeah, I knew you'd disagree. Stream observations. So, I have observed some things about my stream. Like I said, I've watched, when I was talking about it earlier, I watched my stream a little bit, and I was like, interesting. And I wrote down things that I had to improve, basically, this upcoming year. Hopefully I can improve while I stream. I said you have to come up with at least 5 things, and I ended up coming up with 8. So, my first stream observation was black screens. Now, this was something that came from other people, so and kind of inspired while I was writing this list, is because when I end off streams, I usually close out the game, and then I just have a black screen there. You shouldn't do that. I should at least put up the stream over thing when I do that. Or I should keep up the game, or I should put something on the screen, like a picture or something, so people know I'm there, because sometimes I don't talk when I'm on a black screen, and that leads into the next part, which is also dead air, and these kind of go together, because sometimes I just won't be talking for like 20 seconds. And a friend of mine keeps talking. Apparently he only comes to my stream when I have a black screen and I'm not talking, and so he just leaves like 20 seconds afterwards. It pisses me off because I stream like 6 hours some days, and he'll be like, I came to your stream today, and it was just a black screen, and you didn't say anything for 20 seconds, so I left. I was like, oh my fucking god. So, black screen is a problem. I'm gonna try to catch myself if I ever do it again, and dead air is a problem. I need to stop talking. I need to keep talking when I'm doing these kind of things. You see, this is a joke. Another thing I didn't write down, but I'm going to talk about right now because I was doing a little bit of a joke there. Coughing. I was sick and I was doing streams and I kept coughing into the mic. Listen, you fucker, stop coughing into the mic. Fucking turn when you cough at least. At the fucking least. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. I just wanted to get that air out that dirty laundry. Next is a big problem for me because, you know, I'm a prideful Italian boy. Young Italian boy. I need to admit when I look things up / cheat in a game. Because sometimes I'll just do it and I won't fucking say anything. And I'll be like, well, if I don't say anything, then, you know, people won't know that I'm not a real gamer. I just fucking Annie up. Annie the fuck up. Say, okay, I'm gonna go search for something right now. Which, if you notice, I've kind of been doing some of in my past streams. Like, just let me search this up, whatever. I'm just gonna search this up. I'm tired of this. I'm just gonna search this up. Because I'd rather search stuff up than draw out stuff for like 20 minutes. And additionally, cheating. I don't really do a lot of cheating. But when I was doing off, I kind of like looked up how to get the ending. And one of my friends was like, "You're cheating," and I was like, "No, I'm not." I should have just said, I'm looking up stuff, not really cheating, which I did end up saying. But I need to, when I do it, I need to say something instead of just leaving dead air there and being like, well, see, I leave this dead air here on purpose this time because I don't want people to know I'm cheating. It's like, no dead air, and because I leave dead air there, just fucking say, hey, by the way, I'm looking something up. I'm looking something up right now. Let me just look this up, or, you know, hold on, let me look this up, and then, you know, type it in and be like, huh, here's what this says, blah, 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 instead of not saying anything for like 40 seconds. okay, I think I know how to do it now. Like, no, don't fucking do that anymore. Or like come back and be like, okay, oh, what's over here? Oh, look, I figured it out. I've done that a few times. I'm just saying, I've done it a few times. And if you go back in some of my streams, you'll see some moments where I've been like, I go away for like 40 seconds, be like, hold on guys, I'll be right back. And I come back and I'm like, man, I just have no idea what to. Oh look, I figured out the solution of the puzzle. I try not to do it in obvious games. Like The Room, I genuinely didn't cheat in that one. Like The Room, I genuinely just played normally. And I actually surprised myself in that piano part. Like, even watching it back, I was like, there's no way I didn't fucking cheat there. How did I figure out how to solve that? But I genuinely didn't. I was just pressing random keys and I happened to solve itself. I was like, oh, okay. So. But yeah, The Room I didn't cheat in. And in games that it's kind of obvious about cheating, or looking stuff up, like a solution, I kind of don't do it on purpose. But if you look back on some of my streams, you will see that I've done that. I've tried to hide it. No more. I'm not fucking gonna hide it anymore. And if I do, I'm gonna call myself out like a fucking bitch. So next problem I've looked at myself for, and I've looked deep in my soul and found, is not committing to jokes. Sometimes I'll say a really, really nasty ass, dirty ass joke. And I'll say something really bad, and I'll know it's really bad, and it's coming up, and I'll be like, hey guys. And then I'll build it up and be like, what if he sucked on my cock? So I need to stop that shit. If I'm gonna commit to a joke, and I see to commit to a joke, I'll be like, yeah, but what if you sucked on my cock? And then just like, there you go. I don't need to be like, cock, like laughing at the end of my joke to try to like ease up on me just saying something like a fucking dickhead, like me just being an asshole there and making a really bad, dirty joke or something. I just need to say it, and then maybe deal with it afterwards. Maybe laugh afterwards. But a lot of the time, I'll say it. I'll be saying a joke, and then I'll kind of go into like the laughing or sneering as I'm saying like the last few words, on purpose, because I don't want to feel like a dickhead for just saying it, and then like just saying it, and then just like sitting there and keep playing. But I need to do that because me kind of like going into the laughing in the joke. Sure, it makes people see that I'm not serious about it, but at the same time, it also ruins the joke. So I just need to say the nasty-ass, dirty joke, get it out of my fucking system, and then afterwards, like 5 seconds afterwards or something, then I can fucking laugh or some shit. But I need to commit to these jokes. I can't just be like, suck on my penis. You know, stupid shit like that. And I catch myself doing it every time I fucking watch it. I'm like, God fucking damn it. So I'm going to call myself out if I do that anymore as well. Next order of business is reaching out and being a part of my community. You see, when you go and look up how to become a big boy streamer, they tell you, okay, let me just add a point real quick. Stop the fucking stuttering, dude. It's not a funny joke, dude. Yeah, it can be funny sometimes. You know, I'm going to keep the stuttering. So when you're reaching out and you're going to be a big boy streamer, when you want to be big boy streamer, you're watching all these videos from big boy streamers, and they go, here's how to be a big boy streamer. By big boy streamer, what you do is you go out to other people and you say, hey, want to be big boy streamers together? And they go, sure. And then you both stream the same game, and you become big boy streamers. There you go. That's how you become a big boy streamer. Obviously, that's not it. But I am part of a streaming group. And I will be doing streaming stuff later this year with them. This I promise myself. Do any of them know it yet? No. Will they know it soon? Yes. I mean, we're gonna be playing Monster Hunter World, so I'll be playing with some people. And when I played the beta, the Monster Hunter World beta, me and Genesik were both streaming, and Genesik had like 12 viewers, and I had 0, and I was like, but it's fine, because I don't really fucking care at that point. The point is just to stream with other people so that people can find out about you. You know, that's the whole point of streaming with other people. So I need to do that more, and I also need to fucking source my friends. Hey, friend that's watching right now, I need to source them so we can play some games on stream and have some fucking fun. And I see all my friends are all on a call right now, probably playing fucking League like a bunch of losers. Except for this one that's watching like a equal loser. Is he still watching? He is. Fuck. Loser. So I need so when I say reaching out and being part of my community, I need to not scratch my headphone across the microphone. I need to reach out to my actual streamer community that I'm friends with, all these people, and be like, hey, does anyone want to do some dual streams sometime? Because I haven't done that. I've known them for 2 years, and I haven't done that like once. I've played some streams with them. Like, I played on some streams where we play Payday, back when they played Payday a lot. And, like I said, the Monster Hunter World was the most recent, but it was kind of like a thing where, like, the whole community was playing Monster Hunter World, so everyone get together, and if you're streaming, you're streaming. If you're not, you're not. Whatever. I need to do some things where I'm like, hey, let's do some fucking dual streams. I need to reach out. And then, like I said, I need to play with my friends some more. Whether that's League. And why do I want to play with my friends? So, you know, they can become famous too. See, there it is! There it is! I stopped doing the joke. I did a laugh. See? Example. Not committing to the joke. I was going to say, so they can become famous too. And that's how you'd actually do the joke, instead of what I usually do, which is laugh at the end. So there you go. There's a perfect example of not committing to the joke that I just did there. But anyway, obviously that was a joke, so they can become famous too. No, because I like playing with my fucking friends. And if I stream, and from my stream, you know, people are like, oh, who's that person? I'm like, oh, they're this on Twitch. And then they get like followers and something, and I'm like, hey, look, you have all these followers. Why don't you stream? That would be pretty cool if I got my friends to stream too. I mean, I've been working on it, slowly trying to convince people. And hey, wouldn't you know it, one of my friends has been streaming RuneScape, which a few months ago he was saying, no one ever wants to watch RuneScape. And I'm like, just fucking stream it, dude. Just fucking stream. For Christ's sakes, I need one of my other friends to stream at least. So now he's been streaming it a lot. And I've been watching it because I want him to keep streaming. So... yeah. And then one of my other friends is just... he's like, if I stream, why wouldn't I just stream on Steam, you know? Why wouldn't I choose the Steam streaming so I don't have to open up Twitch and do all that stuff? And I'm like, come the fuck on. It's because there's like 2 people that ever watch you on Steam, dude. But anyways, that's just a theory. Next part of my stream observations, taking breaks. Never do I fucking take any breaks. You'll see me play these games for like 6 hours with no breaks, and then afterwards the stream's over. This is more of a personal one. Stream's over, I hit the end button, and I'm like, man, I gotta fucking piss my pants. Or, man, I gotta fucking eat right now. And probably both, usually both. So I go and do those both things. And I'm like, man, maybe I could have taken a break somewhere like halfway in between. And it's not like at the end of the stream, like I'm like, oh man, I really gotta piss, and then I turn off the button. I'm like, no, it's like I'm just not thinking about it, and I turn off the button, and I'm like, all of a sudden, you know, the basic human needs.exe comes back on, and it's like, you must now eat and pee, and I'm like, shit, I haven't been doing that. So I need to take more breaks. No more 6-hour streams without breaks, hopefully. Doing my face, my classic, real close gamer. Next is finishing games, and I have been getting better at this. I mean, if you look at the thing I just did for December, I completed 20 of the 24 games that I played. 24 unique games that I played. So, in my opinion, that's pretty good. Well, then you think about, well, what about longer games? What about games that usually take more than one session? Because all those games were under 6 hours, or 6 hours or under, which is, that's the reason why they're on that list, is because I can complete them in one session. So Anyway, so I need to finish games that are longer. Obviously, I've been getting better at this. I mean, I completed Cuphead, which took more than one stream. Completed A Hat in Time, which took a few streams. Completed Prey, which took a few streams, but I had to come back to that because I stopped playing a little bit. But I did bring myself back to play Prey, and I ended up beating it. But there are some games I dropped this year, and that was in part to Odyssey coming out and my computer breaking, so I couldn't play them. Which was Kingdoms of Amalur, which I don't think I'm going to go back to, actually. And the other, well, let me explain Kingdoms of Amalur a bit more. Kingdoms of Amalur I don't think I'm going to go back to because a lot of games I have like next in the chopping block in Kingdoms of Amalur, unfortunately, because I think I lost the save for that and stuff. I'm just like, I just don't want to play it again at the moment. Someday I'll play Kingdoms of Amalur on stream. Is it soon? Probably not. Next, the other game that I'm thinking of is Shadow of Mordor, which is a great game. I played a stream of it where I played like 8 hours straight without any breaks, yet again. And then all the Shadow of War stuff came out that was saying like Shadow of War sucks ass, Shadow of War blows, and I was like, well, I'm not going to buy Shadow of War anymore, so why should I play Shadow of Mordor? Because the whole reason I was playing Shadow of Mordor was so I could build up to Shadow of War, so I could be like, oh look, at my nemesis is from Shadow of Mordor, haha, cool, they're in the game now. So I ended up stopping playing that, and now I kind of regret it because I wish I'd played it so that I could buy Shadow of War and then see all the cool, because I'd watched a lot of videos where there's like a lot of cool different stuff now, and I'm like, man, like I know the loot boxes stuff is shit, but like, and I know there's some stupid grinding towards the end, but man, I really want to play that now. Not right now anymore, I'm kind of over it now, but still I'm kind of like, but yeah, finishing games, if you go back to when I did YouTube, there's still some series I have left unfinished. Ukulele, which I will probably never finish. Deadly Premonition, which I will probably never finish. I'll probably, if I ever do play that again, it'll probably be on stream, and I'll probably start over from the beginning. And there's some games, if you go back, there's some games that I didn't finish. Barely did I ever finish anything on YouTube because YouTube required editing and stuff, which I'll get into editing shit later. But if you look back on streams I didn't really finish a lot of games on stream either. But luckily, I've been kind of getting into the habit of finishing games. Berseria I'm doing right now. I plan to finish it. Soon I plan to do some other things too. Let me look up. So, I bought 6 main games. I bought some other games during the winter sale. I bought like the Nancy Drew pack, but I didn't add these to the list. But I bought 6 main games, and I was like, if I buy these games, I have to either play them by myself or play them on stream. These games are King's Way, which I already talked about, and I probably won't play on stream. Cook Serve Delicious 2, which I probably won't play on stream either. And then the other 4 I'm probably going to play on stream, which is West of Loathing, which will probably be sometime early next year. The Room 2, which will also be early next year. It'll probably be one of my... I'll either play Berseria, then It, or It, then Berseria. So, I'll probably be soon, very soon. It's going to be The Room 2. Then XCOM War of the Chosen, which I'll probably play alongside Berseria. And then the last game I'm going to keep a secret until I either finish XCOM or Berseria, and then I'll start playing that one. And that's a long game. So, those are the games that I have planned, and I plan to finish all those. The Room 2 is going to be easy. Berseria I'm going to obviously finish. Or I'm going to try to. I don't know. If there's a lot of grinding towards the end, I might quit on it, but my friend says there isn't. My friend who's actually watching right now. You better finish it. Yeah, I will. West of Loathing I hear is really good, and I want to play it. XCOM 2 War of the Chosen is probably going to be the biggest one that I might give up on, because it's XCOM and I played through it before, and I know all the shit about XCOM, but I plan to play through it and have a lot of fun with it, so. And then finally the last one, which is going to be a long-ass game. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that because it's a story-based game, and I love story-based games like New Vegas and stuff like that. And people are like, if you love games that have like really good story, you're going to love this game. And it was really cheap. It was like $5 on the sale, and it's like the lowest price it's ever been. So I was like, I'm picking this shit up, and I'll play it on stream too. So expect those into the next year. That's the kind of quick. I wasn't even getting into the future plan stuff yet, but I'll talk about it again once we get to future plans. And finally, I put on this quick just because I did the stream, and this is the first time I've done a stream with the webcam, but look at the webcam, so I've been trying to keep my eyes on the webcam, but hopefully. Anyway, let's move on to future plans. See, that only took 20 minutes. Let's move on to future plans. So, first up, school's coming up. I'm getting back into school again. So, in the break between the college semester that I've had, and now I've done some classes, but not really a lot. I've done Harvard, like CS50, for instance, which is a pretty good class, but I'm going to go back to an actual community college, and I'm doing actual classes. I paid for them already. And that starts January 8th or something. 3 of them are online. 1 of them I had to actually be at place on Thursday, so don't expect a lot of streams on Thursdays. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna have less time to stream because of school, but I'm happy that I'm going back to school, basically. Next is going to be, I'm going to try to stream 4 to 5 days a week average, which means it's probably going to be usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, those are probably going to be the days, because Sunday I'm usually busy, and Thursday I'm going to have like my only class where I actually have to be there. So it's probably going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday are going to be my days that I play. And since we're here, I will talk about kind of like the schedule coming up. Like I said, I'm going to finish off Berseria. Expect the Room 2 to be played very soon as well. Probably before my school even starts, I'm going to play the Room 2 and finish it. Expect West of Loathing, which I might also finish before I start schooling, because I think it's like only like a 20 hour at most. 10 to 20 hour. XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Expect me to run that alongside Berseria and play both of them at the same time after I finish the shorter games. And then Planetscape Torment. Oh, I spoiled it. Oh, well. Planetscape Torment Enhanced Edition is the story-based game, which I will play after I either finish Berseria or XCOM 2, whichever one comes first. And I'll play it alongside the other one. And then from there, I'll kind of go along. I might play something from Nancy Drew as like a short game. Like in between XCOM and Planetscape, I might play a few short games, like maybe a Nancy Drew game. Maybe I'll play Fury, which I had planned. I might play Subnautica. There's a few shorter games I have in between. And then for more longer games, I have Nier Automata written down as one that I should play. I mean, I own it, so why the fuck not? Metal Gear Solid series, which I have all of. Mountain Blade games, which I think I'm gonna wait till Bannerlord comes out before I stream it, because I don't really have a drive to play Warband right now. So, and then longer, there's also like Hyperdimension Neptunia. There's the Mass Effect series, which I've always wanted to play but never gotten around to. There's the Banner Saga, you know, and then of course there's also Stardew Valley whenever multiplayer comes out. I'm gonna play some multiplayer with friends. So yeah, that's a rough stream schedule for the first month. Is gonna be Berseria, West of Loathing, The Room 2, XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, Planetscape Torment. Probably into February. That's gonna be as well. Because Planetscape Torment's probably gonna start late January. So I'm gonna try to do 4 or 5 days a week. And that should be good. Starting the 1st. This new schedule is going to start the 1st. I'm not going to stream any of these next 3 days, but the 1st I'm going to come back and stream probably Berseria or The Room 2. Yeah. So expect that. Next, for future plans, I've talked about this a little bit. I've referenced this a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to be really doing much editing or YouTube stuff anymore. I've lost the drive, or should I say the passion, to edit for YouTube anymore. Edits for YouTube. I don't think I'm drinking that much. To edit for like reviews and stuff, or just like videos in general. I've had some ideas for videos in the past since I've done, like, let me look up, my last thing I think was a Fury review. Let me look up YouTube Paggigalo. Fury. Oh, nope. I didn't want to hear myself. Let's see. Last edited video I think was Fury. Well, I have the ukulele episodes which weren't really edited. They were just kind of cut up. Tulip Speedrun wasn't really edited either. It was just kind of like more of the same. But the last review I actually did 2 since Fury. I did Fury. I actually edited 3 things after Fury, so in between Fury and some other stuff, I also did some Deadly Premonition Let's Plays and some Banjo-Kazooie Let's Plays, which were basically just me playing the game and me chopping it up, so those weren't really editing. But I did do 3 editing things. One I did was this thing called Indie Box Inquiry, which I was trying to do along with Indie Box. And I did it for August 2016, The Stanley Parable, where I basically played through the game, but I edited up and chopped up parts that I thought were funny, and that was 20 minutes long of my whole playthrough of Stanley Parable, which was like 2 hours or something. So I edited that. Then I also did a review for Recore on the Xbox, a game that I thought was criminally underplayed. Maybe not under-reviewed, but underplayed. And then finally I did a review for Tyranny, which actually got a lot of views now I look at it. Got 56 views, man. Let's go. I did a review for Tyranny that I was pretty proud of. A review for Fury and Recore were both only like 5 minutes, but Tyranny was like over 20 minutes long. And I was pretty proud of that one. And I liked that video a lot, but if I go back and watch it now, it's just going to be cring. But yeah. So, since doing the editing for Tyranny, I've tried to do some editing stuff. As you heard me mention earlier, I tried to do a review on Splatoon 2. I recorded some footage and had a rough script written out for it, but I ended up not doing it. Let me look at some of the other past games. I tried doing some stuff for Kingdom Hearts 2.8, like I said, but that was mostly just recordings. I didn't think I was going to do a review on that. Let me just look. Ukulele, I kind of had some ideas of what I could do, but I never even played the full game, so I never really got to that point. Mass Effect Andromeda, I was definitely planning on doing a review for, and I think I wasn't like pretty much finished with my script, but I ended up not doing it because the footage I had I didn't really have that much good footage, and I just didn't really feel like it. Assassin's Creed Origins, I was thinking, that was probably the most recent one where I was thinking of doing a review on it, but I ended up not really recording anything with it, so I ended up just saying, yeah, whatever. Danganronpa V3 I was thinking of doing a review on as well, and Persona 5. Persona 5 I think I was going to do a review on, but then I was like, I used the excuse that Atlas was trying to like say like, oh, no one show anyone anything, so I was like, nah, I shouldn't do that. Even though I could have probably still done it, but I was just being lazy. When are you playing Banjo-Tooie? Probably never. Probably never. I don't really like Banjo-Tooie as much as Kazooie. Yeah, Danganronpa V3 though I was thinking of doing a review on, but I ended up not because I was like, I don't really want to spoil people. Even though it is a review, and people should know. Yakuza 0 I wanted to do a review on, and I think that was also another one where I had some good footage for it, and I had a decent script, but I ended up just being lazy about it and never doing it, so it's like, yeah, whatever. Neo, I was thinking about it, but never really got anything done. A Hat in Time was also kind of a recent one that I was thinking maybe I could do a review on this, but I ended up not. And then Mario Odyssey was one where I was like, maybe I could do a review on that, you know. It's really popular right now. A lot of people like it. And then my computer died, and I was like, oh, shit. And then when it came back, I was like, well, I really don't want to play any more of the game to record footage because I already played it through 100%, and I was kind of done with it. And I was like, So, I just didn't really feel like it. So, as you can see, there's kind of a trend. I just didn't really feel like it. I've been pretty lazy, and I just haven't felt like doing most of these. The one that got the most far was what did I mention earlier? Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda was the one that got the most far that I probably like very close to doing a review on, but I just ended up not being that happy with it, so I ended up scrapping it. And I just haven't really felt the like I was gonna edit or anything. Like the feeling of editing has not really been with me these days. So I used to like editing. Nowadays I just don't. I like being a lazy asshole. That's me admitting it. So yeah. Will I do reviews in the future? Maybe, but the reason why I put it down on here is because I don't expect like I'll ever do it. I don't think I'll ever do it. I also had some ideas for other shows that had dated back. So YouTube, no video blogging attempt. I expected more of you. Sorry. No blogging. No vlogging. But my friend asked me to vlog the other day too, and I was like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. But yeah, I'm not really doing the editing stuff because I just don't feel up to it. Every time I open Vegas, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Vegas is bullshit. And like that I'm not saying that's the full thing, but like Vegas being a little wonky is also, I think Vegas is probably one of the best programs for editing, but for some reason I don't really have a lot of luck with Vegas. And so I think that's a lot of the reason why I also don't like editing, because sometimes Vegas just fucks me over. And I'm like, well, guess I'm screwed. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I might do reviews in the future. Who knows? When I was thinking of doing a video for Berseria after I finish it about what similarities it shares with Berserk and like how similar it actually is. Pour myself some more alcohol. Yet again, don't do it like this, kids. You're supposed to tilt it in. And I mean like the cup, you're supposed to tilt the cup. Probably enough alcohol to last me the night. I probably don't have to pour anymore. Especially because I'm not really talking more. But yeah. Have you tried Adobe Premiere? I have not. I have one other program, which I forget what it's called, but I got for free a while ago at HitFilm. I have HitFilm, which I heard was also pretty decent. But I haven't really messed with it because it's strange. So. Anyway. Yep. I might do a video on Berseria. If I think I can do it to clear up some misconstrued stuff. And I might do a video on some other stuff I might do, like what? Who knows? I could do a video on West of Loathing or XCOM. Who fucking knows? Probably not, though. That's why I wrote it down, because I probably won't be. It's equivalent to Photoshop and Illustrator. Okay. Maybe I'll check out Adobe. I mean, I've just worked with Vegas my whole editing life, so I know how to use it. But anyway, moving on. Next, we're going to talk about the podcast that's going to start next year sometime. The podcast with the Forkwall Enclave. Man, how much have I been drinking? The Fourth Wall Enclave is the streamer group I was talking about, and I haven't really had time. Me and the leader of the group wanted to, know him well, but we wanted to start the podcast up before the end of the year, but unfortunately I ended up getting sick, and then when I finally got better, it was holiday time, so we really couldn't do it then. So when the new year rolls around, I'm going to start probably like on day 1 or day 2 of the new year. So January 1st or 2nd, I'm going to make a spreadsheet and be like, all right, start getting some names, start getting some topics, let's go. And then we're going to start the podcast. And the podcast, I don't know if it's going to be hosted on my channel or not, or if it's going to be hosted on Grins, which is the leader of FYE. Fucking idiot. But yeah, the podcast will start next year. For sure. And so that was kind of going with my reaching out and being part of my community kind of thing. So that kind of went with it. And then lastly, more D&D. Off stream with ya boys, which is my friends. Because I don't think they want to do it on stream. I think they all want to do it like paper on a table and like us talking and being idiots. And saying jokes that we can't say on stream. And then on stream with the Fourth Wall Enclave, I'm so pissed off. It's been like a month and a half since we've done D&D. I keep trying to get them to do it, but they won't. So we keep having excuses every week. And I was like, one week I was sick, and I was like, please, just let me do it. And they're like, no, you're sick. We should just call it quits. And I'm like, no. But yeah, we'll get back to D&D with on Pap's channel eventually. And like those last 2 topics were just kind of like personal things that I haven't really got started yet. But yeah, the big topics for future plans was like the schedule, school coming up, trying to stream 4 or 5 days a week, and the fact that I'm not really going to be doing editing anymore unless I really have the drive to do it, which I really haven't. Maybe when I get back into school, I'll stop being a lazy asshole, and I'll be like, oh, you know what, now I can actually do stuff, and I can try to do some editing. Like I said, there were other videos other than just reviews that I had plans, and there were like other shows. Like I thought of a few shows. Like I thought of a show called What the Gimmick, which I'm not even gonna try to explain the gimmick to you. But yeah, there are like 2 or 3 different like ideas I also had for like shows that I'd be like, ooh, what if I did this? Ooh, what if they did like a character piece? Man, I love doing character piece. That one, I'm so pissed off that I never did because I'm lazy. I really wish I'd done like a character piece kind of thing on my YouTube channel, but alas, I am lazy. What can you do? Anyway, that's it. That's it. That's the stream. She wrote. Get an editor. Maybe when I'm older. Maybe when I'm more famous. Okay, I'm switching back and forth and probably giving people epilepsy. Yeah, maybe when I have more than 2 people watching my streams at one time, I'll get an editor, but for now, I'm just kind of doing this thing as a reflection. It's mostly for myself. Get a volunteer editor. It's mostly for myself to, be like, oh, just kind of goofing around. Just having fun, talking about what I can work on in this next year to try to make myself a better streamer. And maybe I can turn this into something more than just me dicking around for 4 or 5 days a week. So I don't know. That's it. That's all she wrote. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. I will take a sip of my drink. So if anyone watching has any questions about what I do, what I'm going to be doing, what I usually stream, blah, 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 feel free to ask. And if no one does anything in the next 5 minutes, then we off. Gonna go play some League of Legends with the boys, probably. No boyfriend. No, and I'm not looking for one. How do you feel about cricket posters? As you can see, I enjoy them very much. Do take the garbage out. Yep, tonight's garbage night. Believe it or not. I should get drunk on garbage night. That sounds great. Drunk is an exaggerated term, but... Yep. Tonight's garbage night. It's piling up. It looks fucking nasty. I didn't even think about that when I started streaming. Just pointing that out. But you're still inside. Ooh, got me, dude. Roasted. You got me. Anyway. Are we expecting any special guests? Yeah, my boyfriend. Thanks, Elnep Gear, for watching. And thanks anyone else that's watching. Whether you were watching sarcastically or for real, Elnep. I don't know. Are we expecting any special guests for the next year? Depends on if people agree. Thanks for watching, though, whether it was sarcastic or not. I'm gonna go take out the trash and then play League with my boys. Contemplate what I'm gonna do for the next year. Hey, at least I didn't say I'm gonna work out and lose a bunch of weight like everyone else does. I'm so different. Anyway. Peace. How do you feel about the cold embrace of death? It's coming for me. Alright. See you later. Thanks for watching, whether it was sarcastically or not. Bye-bye.